everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. Remember these jerseys. I'm starting to feel nostalgic seeing these jerseys, even though they haven't worn them. It's only been, the first time this season, but since they last played, I guess in May or late April, when they wore these jerseys, just seeing these jerseys bringing back some good feelings. Seeing a number 16 on the ice reminding me of Domi, even though it's Andrew Ladd, who's like double his size, or 83, thinking it's Connor Garland. But in reality, it's Jay Beagle. So a bit unfortunate to see such poor play while wearing these jerseys. Kind of tarnishing my rose-colored glasses when seeing these jerseys and having happy feelings when seeing these on the ice. But it's great that they're keeping the red jerseys for 8 games this season. I really love this jersey. Love the logo. I'm still getting warmed up to Kachina. I prefer this, but I'm sure. The away Kachinas are way better than the black one. I feel like the black one kind of gets lost on TV a little bit, but the white ones are excellent, and I'll just have to learn to love them like I did with this jersey. Another game on national TV. What a way to get embarrassed than on national TV before the game if you caught it. Usually I don't watch the pregame. It's usually only 8 minutes long, but for some reason this game started about 20 minutes later than at the start of the hour, as opposed to 8 minutes later. And Rick Tocchet, who worked for TNT, had an interview with Jacob Chikrin, and it was so awkward. And it's like, imagine having to talk with your former old boss asking you why you've been so bad lately. That's what the conversation was. Talking was like, hey, Chick, what's going on? Why are you so terrible? So that was awkward. Funny, but awkward. It's good to get a fresh set of eyes and voices as opposed to Tyson and Matt. I love Tyson and Matt. I don't really like national broadcasters, but they do bring, some. They don't pull any punches, national broadcasters, and they pull some analytics out of their behind, which is interesting to hear. In the previous national broadcast against Anaheim, they're talking about zone entries, completed zone entries, and possession percentages, which I would love to see on the local broadcast, so they could incorporate some analytic metrics. Let's get into the game. It was okay. Like the first and third period were fine, acceptable Coyotes hockey. The second period was miserable, wanting to turn the game off, but you got to hang in there. I really liked their third period. They came out competitive, came out hungry, looking for goals. They didn't give up a goal due to, Scott Wedgwood had to replace Vemelka again. Seems either teams are figuring out Vemelka or Vemelka is just in a tough stretch. Maybe some saves he could have made on those goals, but the same recipe. It's becoming a trend. Early penalty troubles. They let in a power play goal as for Minnesota's first goal. And then on a delayed penalty, Minnesota scores to go up 2-0. Not that the extra attacker was involved in the goal, but just knowing that in the first period, two penalties in a row, it's not it shows that the Coyotes are running around in their own zone, clutching, grabbing, tripping players. The opposition is using their speed. They're holding the puck. They have possession in the Coyotes' end, leading to them to take penalties. So that's a bad sign. Their penalty kill is terrible. Somehow they're not last place. I heard that there was 31st. Now there's 32 teams. So someone's last. I think it's Vancouver, but I'm not, I didn't really research who it was. It was just fascinating that they're not last. But that goal by Andrew Ladd near the end of the first period was huge. Yaskin got his first point on that goal. Goes to spare. We'll talk about him later a little bit. Got the primary assist on that goal. But that was a huge goal to make it 2-1 going into intermission. I thought, that would stop the bleeding, wake the Coyotes up a little bit. Come back in the second period, be a little bit more competitive. Don't let Minnesota run around in your own zone. That did not happen. They didn't show up in the second. They didn't get a shot. They're outshot 7-0 to start the second period. The Minnesota Wild scored 3 goals in the middle frame. Two just dirty, embarrassing goals. Fiala with an incredible tip in, and then Kaprizov and Zuccarello behind the net, passing to each other, and then just shoveling in the net on that 5-on-3. Like, that was an embarrassing goal. All skill, just toying with the Coyotes. Vamelka, he's got to start hugging those posts. There was a goal against Anaheim, the first goal they scored on their first shot where he didn't hug the post well. And then this one, passing it behind the net, he was so delayed getting post to post that Kaprizov was able to tuck it in. In the third period, the Coyotes tried. They got a goal. Goals to spare scored from Clayton Keller, our two best players. And the interesting stat of the video is that Goals to spare has 11 points. The Coyotes have 19 goals overall in the season. So Goals to spare is involved in more than half of the Coyotes' scores. So I mean, he's doing his job. Goes to spare is, but where's everyone else? One player shouldn't be involved in over 50% of the team's production. It's a funny stat. It's also interesting to see how Goes to spare is thriving, but Chikrin isn't. They're both not born, maybe born. They're both from Florida, the state of Florida. So it's interesting to see Goes to spare thriving. He has 11 points in 13 games. Chikrin still with only 1 point. But maybe Chikrin, there's a lot of pressure on him, a lot of pressure on himself, and from external pressure. Goes to Spirit is just, living life, trying to get his game back, recovering from the injuries, just getting that offensive tempo and confidence back. His defensive side needs more work than Chikrin's, but, he was brought in here to produce, and he's producing at almost a point per game. Maybe they can flip him. No, I'm not saying they should, but it's a talking point. If you have a defenseman who's producing on a bad Coyotes team, he can fetch a first round pick if teams want to take a stab at Goals to Spare, or they just keep him around for this year. He's signed for next year too. So we'll see. Maybe if Chikrin could start getting going, start producing offensively, maybe that's a 1-2 punch of Chikrin and Goes to Spare. But yeah, Minnesota, they are one of the Coyotes' boogeymen from last season, along with Colorado and the Golden Knights. They only played Minnesota 3 times this year, so that's already one down. Last season, they played them 8 times, and the Wild won 7 out of those 8. So it's a boogeyman team. I thought they were playing well, but that second period was terrible. They need to be way better on their special teams. If the PK was just like a little bit good, these games would be like 1 goal games, 2 goal games, not 3+ goal differential. Their power play is just abysmal. They take forever to enter the zone. They love that drop pass, but they waste like 20 to 30 seconds on each power play unit to execute that drop pass play, enter the zone with speed, and all the opposition has to do is stand up at the blue line and prevent the Coyotes player who's holding the puck with speed, because they know that Coyotes player is not going to dump and chase. They're not like Rick Tocchet anymore. Andre Tourigny's system is to carry the puck with possession into the zone and then make a play. So they're not dumping and chasing. They're getting stood up at the blue line. I'm not saying they should dump and chase, but something's got to give there on their power play. They have so many opportunities where they could get, a goal back to get into the game, generate some momentum, get the fans into the game, but they're just floundering or floundering these opportunities where they could get some goals, generate some momentum, and get back into games, and they're not doing it. And these games look like blowouts when they shouldn't be. So they got to work on the power play. Barrett Hayden, would love to see him do something offensively, like get a shot on net, like he has a laser of a shot. Would like to see him get that shot and use that shot. Other than that, 5-2 loss. I am missing the next 3 games against the Blackhawks, Predators, and Blues. 3 games that are winnable. Chicago's poor. Nashville's teetering on mediocrity and rebuild. St. Louis, we don't have tank commander Carter Hutton in net, so maybe that'll be a closer game. The last time these two teams met, the Coyotes scored 4 goals on Binnington, so maybe a winnable game, but I will be on vacation, so you won't see my reflection on those 3 games. I don't think I've ever taken a vacation during hockey season, so it's a bit weird. I can't watch the games. I'll probably just watch the condensed 10-minute game on YouTube, but I'm sure they'll win against the Blackhawks, which is sad to see because they're only going to win a few times this year. And to miss a win, maybe a win against Nashville too, it's going to be sad. And I know I'll miss some wins and then come back and they'll just lose all the time when I come back. But other than that, just want to let you guys know. So thank you for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And thank you for your support.